Hey talkers, welcome to the Q Talk Show. And of course, I have to start talking before the show starts. Yes, season 7, you guys, we made it. First episode of season 7, finally. I'm so happy you guys are joining us because we are now live. And I lost my voice, as you guys always know. Always losing my voice. Always losing it. But I have a special guest. Now, if you guys remember Debate, my cast and crew from Debate, and you remember the crazy times, the crazy conversations on the couch, we are here with Garcelle Menos.
Hello.
Oh my God. Now, I know you guys miss her, but we're about to just talk about turning 30 and the challenges / nonsense that comes with it. So let's rewind. Last night, I had to go out on a business date, right? I took one of my audio and visual guy to STK last night, right? Great night. Haven't been to STK in a while. You know, haven't been in the city, been in California. I'm in New York now. Yay. Come to find out, ended up knowing the manager at STK because him and I used to work at Gap on Herald Square. So, which is great. He gave me $100 off the check. Thank you, by the way. Love you. Then my audio and visual guy was like, oh, let's go out. It's the after party for the Met Gala. Tiana Taylor and all of them are going to be there, right? Okay, great. And now today, 30 and drinking and then having to wake up and come to work. My sister woke me up this morning and she was like, you got to get up and go in the shower. I was like, I took a shower. What are you talking about? And then she told me I turned back over and went to sleep. She was like, no, girl, you got a show to do. Get up. You got 40 minutes to get dressed. So that was my morning. So 30 and drinking, let's start with there. No, not anymore.
Right. It hits different. Going out at, 24, 25, you party, get home 3, 4 in the morning, have a slice of pizza, wake up at 7, and all is well. You're ready to go.
Back at work.
Yeah, no, at 30, it's like you wake up and feel like you just got into the worst type of fight with a cow. I don't know.
Bruh. I got up and had to lay back down. I was like, nah, I'm not ready yet. I was like, they gonna have to catch me.
You have to peel yourself out of the bed. That's why, like, these days, it's like I have to, like, clear the calendar. If someone invites me to any event and I know that there's going to be, some consumption involved, some alcohol consumption involved, I'm like, okay, what are the next 3 days gonna look like? Because if I have a lot to do, I'm going to have to politely decline.
Yep. No. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I can't do spontaneous things anymore.
So now I found out about something after being in Florida for a little bit. BC powder. They don't sell that here in New York.
Yeah.
Bro, that works. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Unless I'm not doing it correctly, it isn't working for me. No?
It's like, my family in Florida, my cousins and stuff, they talk about BC powder all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. They're like, just, in the morning, wake up, put it in your water, and you just go. You feel
or drink it before you start drinking.
Right, that trick too. And I'm like, okay, isn't it just like crushed aspirin?
Yeah. It worked. Maybe it's the psychology behind it, but I believe that I wake up like I'm back in my 20s. Like, all right, I'm ready. What's next? Another night of drinking?
Well, did you have some BC powder this morning?
No.
Well, of course. Well, you could have crushed some aspirin. It's not here in New York, but you could crush some aspirin.
It's the psychology behind it because I know it's BC powder and it's been working and everybody vouched for it in the South. So I'm like, it's a thing. All right. So now talking about vouching and BC powder and drinking at 30, let's get into the hardships at 30.
Already?
We have to because we got to talk about it because I'm ready to talk. If you guys have watched my last video about the trials and tribulations I faced in California back in 2017, it's not pretty, but it's here. So they did not tell us that when you turn 30, you still wouldn't have your shit together.
Yeah, they Shout out to DJ Khaled, for making they this mysterious entity.
Seriously.
Right, because it's like, I'm mad at them, but who are they?
So let's dissect that. Let's start from the beginning. We're in school. They're teaching us, what is it? The Pythagorean theory. How we say it?
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, exactly. Unnecessary. But nobody taught us about
Pythagorean theory. There we go. We got it.
But now, when do we use that with 30?
I'm not sure. I mean, when I'm doing my budgets at the end of the month, I think about how that will come to use, and it just doesn't. A squared plus B squared equals C squared does not help me figure out my expenses and budgets and where I can be saving money. It doesn't help me on my taxes.
None. Zero. You don't get your money back, I promise.
I'm like, where is the A squared B squared equals C squared? Can you square my money, please? I need more.
Okay, now talk about money. Now, with us being in our 30s, finances, let's just say the millennials were handed the rotten apple or the shortest stick. Because of the financial crisis in 2008, that made it harder for us to get jobs or go to college and get out of college and be successful. Because before us, it was easier.
Well, before us, a lot of things were happening. And there was a lot of stability in the housing market before 2008. And also there were some really messed up things going on with establishing the middle class and race relations. These things had an effect. But that middle class was kind of trying to cement itself in these times. And then, in 2008 came, all this credit was given out. No one can pay it back. And everybody lost their house. Well, a lot of people, I say everyone, a lot of people lost their house. And that's when houses became in 2010, they were $1.
Yeah.
Remember in the pandemic, I don't know if you saw this meme, shortly after lockdown in April, the end of March, everybody's like, does this mean houses are going to be $1 again?
I'm here for
it. That's extreme, right? But, houses became affordable and, interest rates were reasonable. But I don't think, I disagree with we were given the shorthand of the stick. I just think we were given the wrong tools.
Okay.
I think that, we inherited really bad economics when it comes to, education, the cost of education, when it comes to, by the time we are adults, young adults, there's a gap, or not a gap, but the middle class is shrinking. Trying to advance is harder. It's more expensive, where we are saddled with debt to try to get ahead, but this debt keeps us back. So it's this kind of oxymoron existence with being a millennial and trying to, at 30, figuring out what that would look like, because 30 years ago, 30 looked like married, kids, stability. You've probably been at your job for 5 to 8 years by now. By 30, you graduated college. Things were in order, and that was what was constructed as this American dream. And we grew up thinking that it was achievable in this whimsical way. Okay. And I think that that's where, now we the realities of, the realities of trying to navigate how to best climb this ladder or achieve the American dream or create your own dream, be somewhat go against the grain or find a way to make your life look like what you want it to look like, without the pressure of society and, saying that, hey, that American dream isn't for me. What if it's a global dream? What if it's, a creative dream? What if it's a physical, what if it's a fitness dream? We don't know. And the template that we've been given is fragile. So
I was like, you made a lot of good points, especially with everything being fragile. You made a lot of good points. One, finance being more of the root to our issues at the age of 30. College loans. Well, shout out to Navia for giving $53,000 on my school loans.
Shut the front door.
I am hell serious. Check my Instagram. Yep. That loan is forgiven. $53,000.
Give me the gems.
Apparently, I heard that they sued Navia, Sally Mae.
Right.
And then now they had to $53,000. They sent me an email. They forgave it June 2021, but they sent me an email last week because I was logging into the system and they probably saw and was like, oh shoot, we never told this girl. So yeah, $53,000 in school loans. I am halfway there.
Dang, what school did you go to? What did you study?
I went to no public schools, which was the worst idea. You see, education.
Right.
No one told me about that.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. The tools, we're given the wrong tools because at 18, right? 18 in between 2007 and 2012, 18 looked really different from 1980, 1980, 1985, where you can pay tuition on your part-time job salary at, a public school. Somebody should have told you. At a public school. But, there were so many more resources available, or maybe the resources are still available. Let me not say that, but the resources, there were so many different means to supplement what we needed financially for higher education. And it's just a stark difference, like tuition costs rising for no reason. It's arbitrary. They run by their own rules. The higher education system just runs by their own rules. So, tuition costs rising at alarming rates. It makes it, kind of daunting. And then it's like at 18, here's all the money to go to school. And, that's irresponsible. Right. You just take this 4-hour course on how to repay back your debt. That was such a...
Yeah. Yeah.
I barely did my homework at 18.
Everybody was waiting for those refund checks to come through. And I had things prepared for me to go shopping, to buy for my room. Not thinking about repaying my school loans. I didn't even know what that entailed. Or even
the flaw in the go to school, get a job, repay the loan, right? I take on $50,000 in school loans. This is an example. Take out $50,000 in school loans, and I think I'm going to get a $100,000 job and be able to pay that back in 5-6 years max. Then when you get the education and you are struggling to barely make $25, $30 an hour, based on your education and skill, that should be the default, right? Yeah. To make a decent salary. And that's just getting at the hourly rate. If you want to talk yearly, what's reasonable is you think, at least you think when you get out of college, I'm going to hit a 6-figure job easy and pay back this debt in no time. That's the dream, right? Mm-hmm. But when you go out and compete and you're still missing some skills because, again, I don't know how far... I don't want to minimize any area of study, but let's just say, you took an art introduction class in your science degree program. You had to take an art class, right? An art introduction class. And when you get out, how is art introduction helping you in your interviews? Is your school positioning you to compete? And that is where, again, some of the tools, we've had some kind of broken tools.
Now, it goes back. It's like, who do we blame for that? Do we blame? Oh, pardon me. Wow, I am choking.
That voice, get it? Like, you got it, girl.
I need water.
We need water? Oh, my.
Sorry, you guys.
No worries.
2 seconds.
Are you going in the Verm room? I have a water bottle on the side of my back. Can you get it for me, please? Oh, for real? Why you say something?
I was going to tell her she wanted.
Oh, never mind.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm back. Wow, I was choking.
You okay? Dang.
Ooh, I even started tearing. Tell you guys, I'm losing my voice.
But that's hold on.
Huh?
Time out.
Yeah, we're still on.
Oh.
It's still on.
Oh,
we're live.
out.
We're live.
We are live.
Yeah, everything is happening. You guys are getting to see the behind the scenes and everything that happens for real. We're live. We're live.
We are.
I almost choked on national TV.
And I'm like, while she's choking, can you grab me some water too? I'm sorry. I love you. I'm happy you're still with us.
Thank you. All right, so back to the show. Now it goes back to my question: who do we blame? I just got a drink, you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right,
get moisturizer. Get moisturizer. Get the throat moisturized. I don't necessarily think it's about blaming. It's about really identifying what went wrong and how do we prevent it in the future.
So is it mom's job to teach us? Is it dad's job? Or is it the teachers? Because this goes back with the nurture versus nature conversation.
Right. And it takes a tribe, right? If we go by it takes a tribe to raise a child, right? There's all these different layers to the tribe. And I think that when it comes down to it, how to figure out where the problem happened, it's layered. It's complex because, partial school responsibility, partial parental responsibility, partial like the system and the people, the network around children or us when we were around. But then there's a different type of conversation when it comes to that, because we also are parents of immigrants, right? And we are Black women, and our experience is gonna look very different from our counterparts with means and resources, because 30 from Miramar, Florida, from working class, it's going to look very different from 30 that grew up just 20 miles west of me.
Of course.
So, and that's going to look like, my white counterparts. I was trying to not say it, but here we are. It's
them white people.
I think that, it's all about where and how you grew up. Like your zip code says a lot about you. Notice when I talked about where I grew up, I didn't go all the way to, the rich zip codes in Connecticut.
Yeah.
No, just 20 miles west of me. And it's a whole different life. And those kids grew up with more knowledge or in an environment that fosters financial responsibility, or at least some knowledge or
very true.
Some knowledge and an environment where, you can talk about money and how to manage it a little better. Parents who want that for their kids or can provide that for their kids. Because, again, in my household growing up, my mom worked 2 jobs and went to school. I don't believe, I want to believe that she wanted to teach me about money sooner, but she just didn't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, then if it wasn't mom, what about school? What about, your high schools and middle schools? I mean, in middle school, we had one class that taught me how to write a check, and I was so proud. But
they taught you how to write a check?
Yeah.
They wanted you guys to just pay bills your whole life. They taught you how to pay a bill. What kind of educational system? Okay. Wow.
That's true. They didn't tell us how to save it.
They didn't tell us how to save it. They told us how to write a check. We got to talk to that school. But continue.
Don't do my middle school like that. I think, right. So it's like the public school. Okay, but what about aunts, uncles, and cousins and extracurricular activities? And it's like, yeah, they're trying to teach you how to be a well-rounded person. And, and they just miss this one part to make the circle whole. And I think that's where, we have to identify, like, okay, particular classes, socioeconomic classes of people, like that's kind of where it goes when we talk about blame or responsibility.
I was like, to piggyback off of your location, it's very true. That's why Oprah has this whole entire series coming out about your location. Oprah. I love Oprah. I do.
Cute, loves Oprah.
I embody
Since I met her.
Oprah is my shorty do-up. Y'all know me. But she has this new series coming out about your zip code affects your health. And which is, I know many of us know this, that if you live in the hood, you're going to get hood doctors. And then going to the clinic to go see somebody is like a year a day. Or
May
they
I have
give
that
you...
water, please? Sorry.
No,
excuse me.
They give you mediocre. We're all live, so everything is happening as you guys normally see it. But what I don't understand is that we live in a society where we're not dumb to what's going on. We know that we live in a systemic racist country. When do we as a community come together and really start making a change? Because yes, I understand it takes one, and there are a bunch of us who are out there that are trying to make a change. But then you have the ones who have yet to even bulge or even go vote or even go do anything. And yes, I understand the whole voting and the whole thing, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Yes, I understand. But if our parents didn't do it for us and we're living this way now, are we just repeating the cycle for our future kids?
I'm going to take an extreme example to answer that question.
Okay.
And this is why I love my generation so much. I'm like, we are just not here for the nonsense anymore. Not here for the BS. Like, nope. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah. No, seriously.
I say that because I recently, I saw the headline of Serena in negotiations to own part of Chelsea.
Yes.
And then I found out that LeBron owns a part of Liverpool. Mm. And I'm like, man, I love us because we are behaving financially behaving financially in a way that sets us up to break these cycles, right?
Yeah.
Because we are using the knowledge that, we have access to, so much access to, the information. Yeah. It's a lot.
The internet.
And that's an extreme example because we're all not, mega millionaire, billionaire athletes, but that's a sign that, the mentality is shifting because, again, 20 years ago when you had the Black mega billionaire or mega multimillionaire athletes, what were they doing? Buying many homes and cars and, chains. And that's a general statement, but I want most of them, it was hard to get them to think for the future, think for their kids.
That's true.
Where
true.
now it's, we're getting into the mentality in mass. I've noticed that, through social media, but in mass that, okay, we have to be a little smarter financially. We need to behave in a way where we're not looking for the next check to pay the bill. How do we get out of that? How do we become smarter? And I think now more than ever, Black middle class, millennials, and, Gen X, Z, what have you, just Black middle class, we're getting a little industrious. I love it. Opening small businesses and keeping money coming in and, positioning ourselves so that, our kids can have a better understanding of how to build a healthy life, mentally, financially, and physically. So I've noticed that. That's an observation. But yeah, there's an other change. Yes, we can be a part of it. And I'm not saying that every Black working middle class person is in positions to completely change their circumstances. It varies. But in the event or in the situation where they have the ability to change, I see it happening. And help. I just lost my train of thought. A whole fog brain fart.
I'm listening.
Yeah. When we talk about, there has to be a change. There we go. The change has to come from everywhere, every layer of society. It can't just be us. Hello, employ the Black people, get the schools, get curriculums to be a little more forthcoming with, competing in the free market. Make pay more equitable, make the professional spaces more equitable for people of color, for all identities. It starts there when it comes to economics and making sure the future is better off.
I was like, to piggyback off making sure the future is better off, I realized that a lot of us, in terms of change, are changing our career paths. Many of us who started out with this mindset that I'm going to go to school, get my $100,000 worth of loans, and I'm going to do
that so proudly. Oh, goodness.
I'm halfway there, y'all. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get my loans. I'm going to do this career because, like you said, this career will get me this job and get me this money, get my 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. That many of us are hitting those goals, are getting those jobs, getting those careers, getting the 6 figures, and still unhappy. And many of it has to do, COVID did quite a number for us millennials, because a lot of us, like you said, we don't want to deal with that anymore. So COVID happened. We didn't have to go to the job that we hate going to make 6 figures, because although y'all making 6 figures, you don't like your job. I know you don't. So you have to wake up. You don't have to wake up anymore. And you realize that I'm okay. I'm happier. I'm mentally stable doing my own company, or going into dance, or doing something that I never thought I would be doing. Now, what are the challenges that possibly you have faced, if you have any, from being where you are now, or being where you were before to where you are now?
Well, that is a loaded question, because where do I start? Because I can go on. My challenges. Well, I'm thinking the gears, they're
all
turning. Right? Because I'm like, where do I start? Right? Because I think about, like you have the 6-figure job and you're unhappy, right? And I always think about what came before me, right? And, a lot of our parents, worked a 9 to 5 and maybe didn't like it 100%, but liked 60% of their work environment. And they managed because pay the bills, put food on the table. They were very practical.
Yeah.
That was a practical approach, realistic approach to work and life, but miserable. And then that caused like parental and and like childhood and parental like discrepancies. And then now we have trauma because our parents were unhappy.
Yep.
And I think the pandemic quarantine helped us take a step back. I mean, we've all heard it, and really reevaluate what's happening. And although we may love our parents so much, we didn't want to be them. And the cycle, the rat race of like going to work and maybe not liking your job 100%. But you say, well, the amount that I do like is worth, keeping self-sustaining or sustaining myself, right? It's worth it. So then, with the world shutting down, it's like, wait a second, is it really worth it? Because I need to like this 100%. I need to like what I'm doing 100%. If I want to be happy and my best self, if I want to show up in the world in the best way I can, I got to like this 100%. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. It's hard to find that 100%. And where I was, then and now mentally is different,
What
so
changed?
Much. Oh my God, what didn't? What didn't change? I mean, in the pandemic, right before the pandemic, I had my dream job. I was, marketer for cool brands. And, I had this like cool job. It was a really cool job. And, there was a point, and this was pre-pandemic too, and I had been doing my line of work for a couple years, and I was like, man, I'm not feeling fulfilled. Like, I feel empty. One, I'm like pushing somebody else's dream. And then I'm like, but what is my dream?
Yep.
And I was just not feeling fulfilled, not totally unhappy, but there was a sense of emptiness. Like, what is my posture in the world? What am I doing? And that was brewing in me before, because although I was marketing a spirits brand, 2 years prior, I was doing the same thing with a brand that was connected to my culture, which was connected to Haiti. And I loved that. I loved being connected to, what I care about most, which is the part of me, being a Haitian woman is like who I am. And Haitian American woman is who I am. For the ones born in Haiti, they're always like, you were born there. Here, you can't say you're Haitian. But
that don't count.
That was really important to me. And that is the work that I felt. That's when I felt most fulfilled. And then now I'm, working with different brands, and I'm like, wait, this is not tied to anything. There's no like giving back involved. My identity is not present in what I do. And it was hard. It was a hard place to be. And then the pandemic comes, and I'm like, my goodness, now I have time to think. And this is like, I'm not happy. And then, I was working, doing that, and the company was, so flexible during the pandemic to still keep us. I was grateful to still have a job after shutdown. And then I moved into an apartment, and I was renovating the apartment. And that was like, right.
Everyone kept their ass in the house. Okay.
No, and Garcelle was running to Home Depot, picking up like floorboards and stuff. So that was like a renovation of my life too, and what the things I wanted. And, I was just like, man, and again, it's brewing. Now it's like almost like it's bubbling at the top, that feeling of not feeling fulfilled. And then I had some weird instances or in interactions with people in and out of the workplace. And then, we had this social reckoning, this social justice reckoning. And my mind is like, my identity is so a part of me. Mm-hmm. Whatever I do, whatever I step into next, that has to be present. And the things that I value and stand for, they have to be present, mm-hmm. which are equitable spaces for my people. And, evaluating how I can be a part of creating those equitable spaces. I'm still figuring it out, y'all. I don't have the answers. I feel like...
I was waiting for the solution. I was like, no. She looked like she was about to give us a gem.
No, it's in the works, right? There are plenty of, charities, foundations, organizations that work with companies to create these spaces for people of color and different identities. But it's hard and it doesn't happen overnight. And, I think a lot about, when we talk about the shift and, I was going through this hard time and I came out a phoenix. We always hear the success story, right?
I love
we always hear, the struggle and, the hero coming out a hero or coming out a success. But we don't frequently hear, you're still going through it. You're still figuring it out.
And here's the thing. The thing is that I believe that many of us won't ever really figure it out. Because if you really think about it, even if you hit your goal, you create another goal. And then now you're striving for that goal. Right. And then now you hit that goal. Now you want another goal. Even the richest person in the world still wants more. And I believe that's what you're supposed to want in life. You're supposed to want more. But enable for you to get to that level of wanting more or even crushing goals, you got to do the cleaning on the inside. And I was like, that actually gives me my segue right into Mother's Day. So Mother's Day is coming up this Sunday. For all of you guys who do not remember, make sure you guys go get your Mother's Day a gift. But I have the pleasure with my mother and my sister. We will be on a panelist for a mother and daughter conversation. Life coach and therapist, licensed therapist, Cheryl Clark. She is having a conversation between mothers and daughters. It's going to be live on Facebook and Twitter, but you can also join in via Zoom. Just check the link. It should be scrolling and register. So if you guys seen that, be sure to register because let me tell you, I believe that we all need to find the root of the issues first. Like I said, I'm in therapy, y'all. So with me being in therapy, I have been learning that some of the issues that I have do come from mommy and daddy traumas. Like when I see my mom do certain things, although she hates us now, I'm like, oh, you're the reason why I'm like this. Right. I got this nonsense from you. Right. But the thing is that also she has her issues that, here's the thing in the Caribbean culture. If you go see a therapist, you are crazy. That's what they believe. It is taboo. You do not go see a therapist or they're going to lock you up in Rockland Psych. Okay. So now that it's becoming a okay kind of thing where actual Caribbean parents are open to doing it, I actually I want my mom, this is the main reason why I want to do this. I want my mom to get into therapy because I think that she has so much to offer this world that she has held back over the years because of, the education she didn't know or so on and so forth. Right. But I have a feeling that, oh God, I am really losing my voice. It's always when I'm about to launch Q Talks, my voice wants to play with me. I think y'all are praying against me.
No, just get some tea. Just drink tea for like a week straight.
So what I really want to do is that I really feel, back to what I was saying, I really feel that everybody, if you guys get to the root of your parents, issue, then that can allow you guys to have those conversations with your parents, and then that allows you to grow as a family, you know, a family that prays together, grows together. Because now you guys are realizing the issues. It eliminates some of the arguments. My mom and my sister and I, we don't argue as much, although we still do because it's 3 women in the house. But there's just certain things where we're able to have better conversations.
Right.
And I feel like that's where it starts. And then we can start to handle this 30-year-old thing and all of these hacks. Like my engineer over here got this sticker called cute as fuck on his laptop because he got to remind himself. And these affirmations,
they work. And, you know, I like that, you know, you talk about like therapy and, you know, getting to like the core of what can be a block, right? You know, what can be a block in progression. And I think that, you know, it goes back to when I said, you know, when we talked about, you know, who's responsible, who's to blame, and, you know, location and, you know, our generation breaking cycles. It's because we realize like these traumas or this trauma like holds us back. And we can't afford to be held back anymore. There's already so much working against us. We can't afford to hold back. So again, with the engineer with his cute as fuck sticker, you know, for me, my affirmations in the morning, you know, I look in the mirror and be like, girl, you smart. You know,
you go, girl.
You go, girl. You're the smartest person I know. There's no one smarter than you.
Let them know. So, all right, tell me some of your things, because I'll go into what I do as my daily routine. So what are some daily routines you do to keep yourself balanced and stable?
Oh, girl, I'm never stable. Let me stop.
We out here trying to balance our life with cute thoughts, y'all.
For one, therapy for me has been transformative because that's weekly. Just, you know, being really honest with yourself is kind of hard. And, you know, that's what also makes harder conversations with other people less hard. And that's kind of what I do regularly. For me, my hot yoga, nothing can come between me and my hot yoga. Okay.
Wait, how do you do hot yoga? You actually go to a class or you do it at home?
No, I go to a class. I go to a hot yoga class.
I went to a hot yoga class. I'm not going to lie. I hear you. Yeah. I know why.
It's God. Oh my goodness. I feel like I am floating. Like I transcend, you know, humankind. Like
for those who don't know, while she's transcending, what hot yoga is literally a yoga class in a hot ass room. When I say hot, like hot ass room. And you're sweating bullets.
Yeah, it's the rooms are about like 98 to like 103 degrees.
Where are you breathing? You're in a sauna doing yoga.
It's amazing.
Is what it is.
Like it's like you're in tune with your mind and body, and it's you know all this sweat. Right? Yeah, you're focused on breathing. That's true.
That's the point.
So and then it just I feel like when I'm done, like physical exertion, really like fitness. All in all, like I love hot yoga. That's my thing. But, you know, boxing, cycling, hiking, like anytime I'm pushing my body hard is like this expression of frustration or this release of frustration. And then it's like, okay, it's all out. Now I can come back and think clearly and then get back to all the projects that I'm working on, my next steps, the planning. It helps, you know, physical fitness, you know, pushing my body is where I'm able to like release and then come back and be in balance. I try to be in balance.
Now, do you journal? Do you meditate?
I journal. Meditate. I need to get better at that. You know, I do because I've been trying to meditate and like minute 3, I'm like, wait. Good. Did I send out this email? Oh my God. I got to return this. I got to do that. Oh my goodness. And it starts to get meditation is something I need to work on.
Well, there's different forms. A lot of people don't realize there's different forms of meditation. So there's candle meditation when you're literally just staring into a candle flame and watching the flames move. There's walking meditation.
Right. That's true.
And then that's with the heel toe. There's a variety. Only reason why I know, you guys know I'm a hippie and I study meditation in my $100,000 school. So yep, definitely got a certificate in meditation. So I am certified. $100,000. I'm certified. So holla at me. But meditation is actually really good. But you work out, so that's still a form of it.
Right.
Because the point of meditation is just to get you to be focused and to be here.
Yeah, to be present and, you know, kind of let your mind be empty for a little bit, you know, kind of let your mind just kind of suspend all the noise, like just let it go. And I mean, in yoga, you know, when we close out a class, it's always with a couple of like breathing exercises and meditation. But again, me and my mind, you know, anxiety, it just be in here. I'm laying down like this and I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I reached out to Rachel, and then did I reach out to Damien? No, I don't know. Did I reach out to Frank? Oh my God, I didn't get to Frank. Oh my goodness. Did orders come through? I didn't even put that on the dang spreadsheet. Oh my God, I should have put that on the spreadsheet. Oh my God, the purchase order did.
I need to be in your brain. My God. That is doing a savasana. Wait a minute. Are you not so? All right. So my yoga people and my meditation, please talk to Garcelle. What? That was a lot going on in a mood that you're laying on your back and relaxing.
I know. And I'm like, I got things to do. So that's why I say I got to work on meditation.
Okay. You know your truth. Know your truth. That's the first part of what AA class. Admit it. So a few things I would say that I like to do. As everyone knows, running has become my life over the years. It's funny, in high school, I hated running. You could not tell me to complete that mile run. That shit would take me 15 to 30 minutes, the whole gym class. Now, it's like a game for me. Now I really got to figure out if I could do it within 8 minutes. Still not there yet, but I'm getting there. Running for sure. My recreational fun. And then journaling. Journaling is something that I just started really getting into. So it's more of a blog journal for me. Like the whole writing stuff, I'll start to write and then my brain goes there where you go. I'm like, oh, I could be writing my sponsorship letter. Why am I writing this? Like I could be doing that. Whereas if I'm typing, it flows out of me. Especially if I'm in how do I say it? If I'm in a train or in a path or whatever the word is, like when I'm groove, that's the word I'm looking for. Once I'm in my groove and I'm typing, my brain really starts to go. So what I try to do, especially with the therapy class that I was taking, they made us journal in the morning and journal in the evening. The evening is the hardest time for me to journal because I just want to get off the computer and go to sleep.
Oh, you journal like on the computer? Like you type it?
That's why. Yeah, it's like a blogger thing for me.
Okay.
So I started writing. I couldn't do the writing. I have plethoras of journals, but my journals are my notepads. So once I start journaling, it just, like, my handwriting is sloppy in there. But what I started doing is that I would just journal on the computer, make it a blog. Then, of course, I do my running. Then I do my coffee in the morning. I have to have a cup of coffee. Oh, and then I meditate, and then my day starts.
Yep. That's a very good way to start, like meditate. For me, I have this weird thing where I do when I get up out of bed to like get me started. For one, I'd like do a flip out of bed. I'm like, because I struggle getting up early.
Did you read that what was that book by, what's his name?
What,
5 a.m. Club?
The 5 a.m. Club? Yeah, no. I have not read that, but I don't want to because
That's exactly. He says jump out of bed and do push-ups. So my assumption was that I thought you read that book. That's why you're
I don't
doing
want to
a
because I'm like,
flip.
don't tell me wake up at 5 a.m.
Why are you flipping out of bed?
Because it's like it gets the blood going and it makes me feel like, okay, I'm awake. Because if I don't, like I'll be like, all right, I got 10 more minutes.
I need to know what this flip looks like. Like, all right.
It's just like, all right, I'll lay upside down and then just whoop, get myself up. That's how I get out of bed.
Yo, I just want to be a fly in Garcelle's room. Let me tell you about Garcelle real quick, okay? Garcelle and I met back in 2014, and she has been my firecracker since I met her. And you woke me up half of the time because the time I didn't want to go out or do things like that, Garcelle's like, girl, what are you talking about? Let's go have fun. Let's go do this. Like, she was all about it. And honestly, I admire people like you because you show me what it meant to live life.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, you showed me what it meant to live life. Because you know me, everyone knows me. I'm all about work and getting things done and just being in front of my computer. But when you would actually take me out and really just go out, I would go out. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Right, and be yourself. I believe that there is, when it comes to balance, you have to make it, that looks like whatever it is for you. But I think that we can't forget to enjoy the process, celebrate the small wins, and, pat yourself on the back for failing sometimes because it takes courage to do that. And I really think we should be having fun along the way. I really do. And it doesn't mean, reckless, irresponsible fun. I think it's just about enjoying every step. If you're riding the train to get to work, if there's a little kid making a joke or stumbling or talking, laugh, appreciate the variety of people you come across every day. Like, that is enjoying and having fun, even in the smallest in the smallest ways. Like when you have your cup of coffee, you're like, dang, this coffee good.
Girl, that was good this morning.
The smell is like, it's waking me up.
Now do you see what I mean? Now you guys understand. Like, this girl literally made me live my life. I was like, I'm going to end it on this. One last thing that she is making me do, y'all. She is making me do a Spartan race.
Yes, an obstacle course. I'm all about
15 plus obstacles. I'm going to be climbing walls.
It's a 5K.
Crawling through mud. A 5K. I thought it was a run. I was like, yeah, I'm here. I watched a YouTube video. I got to crawl through mud. And we are going to be the only Black people there.
No, we're not.
Okay, a handful.
Maybe, but it's going to be a good time.
New York.
It's going to be a good time. And, it's a healthy activity. Challenge yourself. And then imagine, you're like, you think you can't do like the monkey bars or something. And then you go up there, you try it, and you come out feeling unstoppable. And then next thing you know, you have 5 million sponsorships.
All right. Because when you say it that way, okay, you say it that way. And that note, tell everyone where they can find you.
Where can you guys find me? Personal Instagram, Garcelle My Belle, and I'm just there. You can reach out if the transition process, right? It's all about transforming. I can chat, give tips on, what planning looks like when you're taking the next step, being 30. I don't know. You want to vent? I'm here. But yeah, you can find me on Insta. And I do my best to get to everyone as quick as possible. That's like the requirement these days.
Yeah, it's just
everybody needs to be instant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Social media, what can you do?
Right, that's what's required of us.
So I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor today. Our sponsor is Creole Taste. If you guys haven't seen it at the bottom, it is a Haitian cuisine, catering cuisine. Mm-hmm. They make all Haitian food, and that is my mama. So she sponsored this episode today. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Right? All right, you guys tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. This is the new season for the Q Talk Show. We are here for season 7. So if you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, tell everybody about it. And we will be back here next week at 11 a.m. for the lunch hour. Till later. Bye.